Have a good
That's probably
day.
the best show we've done.
I know. It was great.
That was
do it
good.
again.
Hope everybody enjoyed it that was watching.
Anybody got any Danish?
Digital Trends is
mostly
live.
German.
All right.
These Danish is good, girl. Did you see that?
What the hell are you talking
Oh,
about?
that was straight off the Oscars when Chris Rock had all these black actors infused into scenes from Oscar-nominated flicks. And for the Danish girl, they had Tracy Morgan, in a dress, like just really loving on himself. And then next thing you know, he's like mowing down on this Danish. He's like, these Danishes is good, girl. I died. It was worth watching the entire Oscars.
You should have to do the entire show in your Tracy Morgan.
I love Tracy Morgan.
I'll try that next time.
getting pregnant in here.
No
I'll take all you behind the middle school and get you pregnant.
You like Phil Collins? I'll make you a mixtape. I will have to drink a lot of vodka to make that work. I
Yeah.
think.
All right, get some vodka in here immediately.
Yeah.
Next show, that's exactly what you have to
I'll
do.
dip it in and out of my Bill Cosby. And, yeah. Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
That's for another time.
That's for another show. Hello, everyone who's tuning in via Periscope. So we are up right now. I've got it open right here so I can take a look at whatever you guys are posting if you want to put in some questions as we go through the show. So we're going to do a bunch of different topics. We'll start it here in just a second. And I'm not sure, are we on YouTube as well? We're not. Oh, we are on YouTube as well. So I've got both open. I will sit here and just stare at my screens the entire time and capture. All right, yeah.
And if you look quick enough, you can see yourself looking at yourself.
I know. I'm going to get caught in this paradox where I just
That's
keep
the
staring.
deal. That's what
And
it's
going
all about.
back and forth. What do you think of the Apple case? We're actually going to be talking about that here in just a second. So why don't we just get going? We've got enough
do it.
pre-roll
Oh,
stuff to edit in there.
Don't we?
Welcome to Trends with Benefits, a weekly podcast where we gather a roundtable of experts here at Digital Trends to talk about the topics of the day, go through a bunch of different stuff. We want to take your questions. If you're watching via Periscope or YouTube, go ahead and pop those in there, and we will get to those as we go through. My name's Greg Nibbler. I'm your host. Let's go ahead and see who we've got in here today. I know to my right, who was you were in Barcelona last week at this time.
That's correct.
Yes, I think we talked about this on the show last week, and I said you're probably wearing like a flamenco outfit, like walking around town.
They brought me right into the culture. They said I looked close enough and you could just hang. So that's what I did.
Oh, and this,
then I had
this
a-
is Ryan, by the way.
And then I was up for 24 hours on an 18-hour trip back home with 15 hours in the air. Oh, God. Don't
Did you
fly
get
to JFK. It's the worst.
Did you get stuck with a kid behind you?
No, but I barely made that flight.
Yeah.
It was touch and go. First world problem.
These are Dub's travel antics. I could write a really entertaining book just based on the things that
I've had
gotten
some
from Ryan
rough
via
ones.
text message. Oh my God, SFO is so stupid. They fog and blah.
Yeah, well, that's because if it rains in San Francisco, 12-hour layover.
Only if Ryan is heading there, though.
12-hour layover both ways.
So never fly with you anywhere.
Come fly with us. Actually, go ahead.
All right, to your right, we have with us
Marie.
Marie. Hello, Marie. And what do you do here at Digital Trends for everybody who doesn't know?
I'm the IT person here.
Excellent. In charge of the most important thing for
The
a tech
I
company.
and the T.
Yes, absolutely.
All
And
of the IT.
and we've got
Caleb Dennison.
Caleb Dennison.
I like chocolate, and this windscreen smells funky.
What windscreen doesn't smell funky
That's
to you?
I mean, mine
Have you
at
ever
home.
thought
My
about
own personal
maybe
windscreen.
it's directing
It
back?
could- no.
No,
I'm fresh.
it's the windscreens. It's the windscreen's fault. All right, so we had a question in Periscope already, and we're going to talk about this just here at the top since it has been the big story everywhere. It seems like it's starting to wind down a little bit, although I think it's just people getting tired of talking about it.
I think people are wearing thin.
Yeah, but it's not going away, and it is, of course, the Apple versus FBI case that is happening right now. So there's so many things. There's a lot you can see at digitaltrends.com and just see kind of a whole rundown of where it's been. But essentially, it's this. The government wants Apple to crack one of their iPhones. Apple doesn't want to do it. They're saying no. And now some of the new news is a bunch of other tech companies are kind of falling in line and backing Apple on it. Although it seems like it's taken a little while for some of them. I feel like they were waiting for it to shake out to see which side.
Yeah, well, I
They should
think
jump
people
on.
kept waiting to get more information about it. And it seems like more information not really coming out. They did appear in front of the House Judiciary Committee. I couldn't say that word the other day. I can't say it now. I don't know why. It's the bane of my existence. Anyway, they did speak in front of the House Judiciary Committee, and FBI had stuff to say. Apple had stuff to say. Nothing new really came out. They just made the same arguments. And I do think it's weird. Like Reddit, eBay, and a couple of others came out in support of Apple. It seems like a little late for them to do that.
Google came out too.
Yeah. Well, there have been people at Google kind of behind Apple on this. No, it was Microsoft, but still,
they
I
came
don't know
out kind
how
of
much
early.
longer this is going to go on. I mean, it was super hot all last week. I think the just like anything in the news cycle, it tends to lose its freshness, and then I think people still care, but it's not as hot anymore.
Not until something else happens.
Yeah, but doesn't it kind of seem like it's the FBI against the world now? At least that's what I thought. But Marie, you were saying you've seen some statistics that kind of indicate that there's a lot more support for the FBI than I thought.
A little bit more. I'm trying to remember where I pulled. I think it was The Guardian ran it. It was like 40% for the FBI, 45% for Apple.
So how much do you think that's the actual issue at hand, which is should the government be able to force a private company's hand to expose themselves like this? Nobody should expose themselves like this.
Well,
and how much of it is like, no, we got to get the terrorists. I'm sorry about that voice. Not everybody who wants to get terrorists sounds like that, but you get what I'm saying.
I think
it's like
it's the same thing we've all said.
People,
Nobody likes terrorists. We're all against terrorists. But
not opening this iPhone has nothing to do with supporting terrorists. And finally, somebody said what I've been thinking all along, which is there's a very good chance there is nothing on this phone that's going to shed any light on what happened, or help the FBI avoid future such instances. Look, if people want to do this, they're going to do it, and I just don't know that there's any reward that's going to come from this fight unless they set a precedent and it opens up a bunch of stuff for the FBI.
Well, and even say though there is a small piece of evidence on there that would be important, to get that, but how much damage is going to happen because you get that little piece of evidence.
And precedence is everything.
Precedence is
like this.
And look at, even in Brazil, they arrested one of the guys from Facebook because they wanted to try to track somebody. They were trying to crack into an account.
That's an old issue too.
Yeah.
Like, it's
what's happening in Germany
WhatsApp?
Too now, I believe.
It
was WhatsApp.
WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And so one of the FBI executives, but who lives in Brazil as part of the Brazilian arm. Please tell me we're recording this.
Yeah. We are, but let me just.
Technical difficulties, Periscope, and YouTube. Our digital recorder decided to freak out a little bit.
Yeah, there's
not as much as Nibbler is freaking out right now.
No, a little annoying. Let me fix this real quick. Sorry, Periscope. We will be back just a second. I'm gonna.
Is this live?
It is live. It is live. So we do. We wouldn't have missed much. Hello, everybody. We're back. So thank you. So let's see. We were just talking about this. Let me get back to where we were. So there's the example of the the Facebook executive in Brazil who's getting arrested. There's the issue that's going on in Germany, and so all of these companies seem to be under attack from governments everywhere. So if Apple does it one time, that's all the precedents for all these other countries to do it.
Could get messy.
Yeah, I think that's exactly.
And that's why everybody's kind of hanging on. I would love to see something big happen, though. So somebody in an official capacity say no.
Yeah.
I think people keep forgetting though that a California judge has already said do this for the FBI, and Apple's basically battling that back. At what point do they win that battle? Like, how many appeals can they make? How high can they take it?
Right.
They're really holding out.
Which all goes back to that, plan of theirs to establish their own country within California.
Yeah.
So that they can remain a sovereign nation, just like the Pope.
Yeah.
And
well, that's where I'm
Tim
moving
Cook and the Pope.
if Donald Trump ends up
That's a good plan.
Yeah.
That's
my contingency. I got Canada. Canada is closer, as a matter of fact, but
they don't want us.
I don't know. They actually set up a website.
There's that island in like Nova Scotia or somewhere.
They're like, come here.
Yeah.
They welcome you with open arms.
They're losing their population.
We can
so
pretty much work remotely, like if push comes to shove.
Yo, if I can ice fish and like write reviews at the same time, I'm down.
With the newest phone in hand.
That's true.
All right, well, let's move on. There is one other thing that Apple was in the news for, and that's their new Twitter handle, Apple Support. I believe it's at Apple Support, right?
Opened up today.
Yeah,
And,
where
I mean,
supposedly they're going to be answering actual people's tweets to them about tech issues.
they've already started. Yeah, I just checked. They started up this morning. It ramped up to something like 30 hours in just a couple of hours. It's up above 84.
How can they possibly answer all of the ones that they're going to get?
Imagine.
That's what I don't.
Yeah.
I think they just take the most popular ones.
Okay.
Something that's like already on the Apple FAQ, and they go that direction or something.
And then it's all links back to that.
Oh
Yeah.
my god! But no, I mean, this should be a way better way to get a little help than having to go through all those forum threads or visit your bro down at the Genius Bar. You know, they don't even serve drinks there. You know, it's just such a
Kind
at
of
least have
boring that.
wheatgrass. You know what I mean? But that would make sense. Pretty the place up. It would be very Apple.
Sure.
Apple juice and wheatgrass maybe. But yeah, no. You know what? The cool thing about this is that it's very much in the public sphere. And it kind of, Apple is allowing themselves to sort of be put on the spot a little bit. Maybe this will work out. I don't know.
We've got somebody in the live chat on Periscope too that said their friend is actually working on this at Apple Support.
Oh, really?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that it's been a secret for this whole time, obviously, since they launched it. I mean, the idea is good. All I think of with it is the only real support I've ever gotten, and shockingly, online by complaining on Twitter is Comcast, but it's always like a month afterward. They'll write back like, sorry to hear about your issue. What can we do? Like, follow me and so we can DM you. But it's way after the issue's already been resolved, or I'm just so mad that I just forgot about it. I just dealt with it.
I had a YoPlay yogurt cup, like the bottom.
You complained about yogurt on Twitter.
You
Tell me
bet
that's
I
what
did.
this story's gonna be.
I so needed that yogurt that morning, and like the bottom fell out of it, and yogurt just went all over my desk. It was everywhere. So I snapped a picture of it, and I went on Twitter with it. I was like, "Thanks a lot at YoPlay." And the next thing I know, they're like, "Please send us the UPC code from your blah blah blah, and we'll do our best to help you." And I never followed up on it, but I could be eating a lifetime supply of free yogurt right now if I had followed that up.
I can't open a yogurt without it spitting yogurt at me.
There is a secret.
How the hell do you do that?
I'll show you. I'll show you later. But
that'll be its own podcast.
You basically have to relieve it of pressure in a way that it can't spit out, because it will.
It's annoying.
It'll go
every single time. Every morning.
Yogurt splooge in the morning. Sorry.
Welcome to Caleb's house. All right, real quick before we move on to the next topic, just to address a couple of things on Periscope. This author, I think is her name. I'm not sure what the name is of the person, but whose friend is working for Apple Support said that I guess she just sits on her computer all day long to answer immediately. So they must have a huge team of everyone.
How much are they? You know what? I want to know, Periscope person, if they'll tell us how much is that person getting paid to do that job. Is it a full-time job, and how much are they getting paid? Roughly. I'm just
What's their social security number? What's their address?
It's 10 cents a tweet.
Are you single? No, I'm just curious
10
about
cents
like,
a tweet.
that sounds like a big. I mean, well, we're talking about one of the richest
about
companies
Apple,
in the world, but still, that's kind of a big expense, to put a support team out there on Twitter like that.
Is that like a work from home type situation, or is it kind of like a call center setup?
I think there's a lot more work from home support happening than we realize. A lot of call centers are saying, we don't have to have a building and all this overhead and the network, and we'll just let people do it from their home. And then so they distribute calls out to individual homes. They have like a centralized hub to disperse the calls, and then some dude sitting in his jammies and freaking eating bonbons is like, have you tried resetting your router?
Sorry about the yogurt incident.
Hey, try turning it off and then turning it back on again.
Well, if you work for Apple Support, send us an email, podcast@digitaltrends.com, and let us know how much money you make. So that's what we want to find out. All right, so another big thing in the news, and Caleb, you just did a live video of this on Facebook, has to do with Alexa.
Yes.
Can you explain Alexa?
Alexa,
briefly?
Yeah, I can. Alexa is a lot of fun. I feel like she's a member of my household now. She pisses off certain family members of mine and delights me on the regular. Alexa is in a...
Define delight.
Yeah.
It's up there with yogurt.
Something to do with yogurt. Anyway, no, Alexa is the smart digital assistant. Think Siri, but for Amazon's smart wireless speaker.
Okay.
So the Amazon Echo came out back in November of 2014, and it was really the first of its kind to be a Wi-Fi connected speaker that you could talk to and say, Alexa, play Bruno Mars, and it would shuffle Bruno Mars from Prime Music. Now it's grown. You can have Spotify, Pandora. It'll just access your Spotify or Pandora stuff and start playing it. And it's all voice command. You can ask it a number of questions. What's the weather like today? What's on TV tonight? How did the Blazers do last night? Sports scores, TV guides, anything on Wikipedia. Who is Paul Revere? It'll tell you all that stuff. And since they opened up the API for it, now there's a bunch of people clamoring in to add functionality. So one of the big things, I think, for the Echo system is that it can control smart home devices. So you can use by voice command, you can shut off the entire house's lights, open the garage door, whatever.
Air conditioner, whatever.
Exactly. And so, its capability has really expanded, and it's turned into a much bigger thing than even I expected it to be. And I was one of its early advocates, when it first came out. Well, now they've issued the problem with that speaker is that it was $180, and I think that it was basically when you're talking about speakers, that there's something about that $100 mark that people are a little wary of, and if they don't really understand what the thing can do, maybe they don't buy in.
Mm-hmm.
They released 2 new speakers today, or announced them, I should say. One is the Dot, which is the Echo Dot, which is a little tiny hockey puck sized thing. It does have a little speaker in it, but it's really so it could be your alarm clock in your bedroom or something.
Okay, it's not.
The idea is it'll connect to any Bluetooth speaker that you've got, or directly to your big stereo system, and it adds all of that Alexa functionality to what you've got. So it's just a plug-and-play device, $90. The other one is called the Tap, and that is a portable version. So you can unplug it from the wall. It's got a battery in it, like most portable Bluetooth speakers, and you can take it on the go. That one's $120. But the clever thing is, I don't know how clever it is.
I think it's $130.
Thanks. Yeah, no, it's $130, $129.99. So the funny thing about the Dot though is you cannot order one unless you do it with Alexa, which means you have to have an Amazon Echo speaker or a Fire TV box or a Fire TV stick. Those are those media streamers that they make, and you have to say, Alexa, order me an Echo Dot, and then it'll say it's going to cost you $90. Do you want me to order it? Yes. Done. And we actually did a Facebook Live video. If you go to Digital Trends Facebook page, you can learn a whole lot more about those speakers, what they do, and how you order it. A lot of people are asking, why do they do that? Well, I think Amazon's just trying to reward people that are kind of in their family already.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, they'll end up opening up the pre-order for everybody else after it starts shipping, which is supposed to be March 29th or something like that.
Well, I mean, it's a good marketing move because then everybody's like, oh, what's Alexa then if I can't order this? And finding out all about it. Yeah,
I want to be in that club.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's
how everybody sounds.
But that was believe it or not, that news knocked the Apple versus FBI thing off the top result on Google's tech news page. It must be a big deal.
Yeah. All right. So that is the video's on Facebook too.
Yeah, go check it out. You'll learn a lot more there. And of course, you can always leave questions in the Facebook feed. I'll answer them when I can get around to it. But definitely worth checking out. Alexa is more than just a novelty now. It's actually useful. It can read your recipes, does all kinds of stuff. I'll let you check out the video to find out more.
Perfect. All right. Well, let's go on to another topic here, and it has to do with live streaming television. And, it seems like everybody's trying to come up with the way to get more live content on, and everybody's trying to compete with the Netflixes of the world. Netflix is still doing pretty amazing for what they've got going. But there's a lot of competitors, and there's this one with a live streaming TV service that, Ryan, I believe you wrote this article about, where
it's hot in here.
Oh, it's hot in here.
I'm just airing it out.
You're airing it out. Okay.
He's getting the hell out of here.
Okay, that's what it was. He's leaving. What can you tell us about this? So Amazon's in talks with AMC and ESPN?
Yeah, well, they've been rumored to be talking since October, I think. But they're getting into everything. I mean, we were just talking about Amazon. Amazon is like everything. They're shooting rockets. Well, not them, but, their CEO has his own rocket company and all that. But it just seems like they're sort of doing everything and surprisingly doing well at everything. And their next big thing is trying to accomplish what Apple has been stumbling at trying to accomplish for months and months, if not years, which is, bridging the gap, going around cable and bringing you live TV. Sling TV did it with Dish Network, but Dish Network was already, in with everybody. They've got all the networks, they've got licenses, they've got all these agreements, and they figured out a way to do it. So Amazon is kind of starting fresh, but they also have a lot of agreements too with their streaming service. So they're gonna take those relationships that they have with AMC first and apparently ESPN, and try to get some live TV going.
I mean, those are definitely two. I mean, the ESPN obviously live is going to be where it's at. That's one of the best
but also The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, Better Call Saul. These are like event shows that people are really, really into, and they want to see them when they happen. So AMC is a really good partner for them as well.
AMC is also really good about not letting you watch it online afterwards, because they'll wait like a full 24 hours, I think, before they'll put it up. Unless you
and they don't have deals with I think they now have an exclusive deal with Hulu, but I don't know how that's going to work. I don't think you're going to be able to get the episodes right away. So it's a cool idea, and we'll see where it pans out. But they're going to need a lot more than that to make it really viable if people are going to pay extra. Right now, what's cool about Amazon is Prime sort of gets you all kinds of crap, right? I mean, it gets you their music service, their streaming service, their shipping service. You were naming some other stuff that I didn't even really look into.
Yeah.
That you helped drop into my article I wrote. Whatever.
No, I mean, there's a lot of stuff Prime does that people don't even realize. You can borrow books free from the Kindle library for any device that you've got. I mean, there's a lot of fringe benefits to Prime that people don't even know they're there, And,
it kind of seems like a natural progression for them. Everybody's wondering, is Netflix going to do this? When's Netflix going to get into live TV? And they, so far, have said they have no plans, but it's a really interesting development. And, we'll see if people are willing to pay for it, what it's going to cost, and if they can actually get the deals done, because Apple hasn't been able to. We'll see how that plays
I'm ready
out.
for some competition for Sling TV. Because right now, Sling TV is the only game in town in the live streaming TV space.
Besides PlayStation Vue, which is
that doesn't even count.
Sort of an afterthought.
They don't even respect themselves.
By the way, this week, PlayStation Vue also dropped the prices of all their plans. I mean, when they first came out, we were like, "Oh, it's cable," except you don't get it from cable because their plans were what,
with crappier picture quality,
$55, $65, and $75. You get you get like a 24-day DVR thing set up for it, which is kind of cool because you don't have to pay extra for it. But yeah, and then the quality was not good.
No,
it was not even 30 FPS, or it didn't look like it.
And you had to have a Sony PlayStation or
at the start of it,
PS device to
But anyway, Vue dropped their prices by $10, and they brought on some of the Disney family stuff as well. Disney's just sort of like, here, we're figuring it out. Yeah. They're having a lot of trouble with ESPN, so I think they're sort of jumping ship and trying to test the waters with all these streaming companies.
Yeah. They're meeting. What's happening is people are jumping ship, like you said, from the cable, and they're capturing them back in.
Yeah.
ESPN's like, no, you're still gonna watch us. You'll just watch us here now.
Yeah. ESPN would be great though, because I know so many people who would love to just pick and choose what they want to watch, and most of it's ESPN.
Right. Well, and if you're a football guy, I can get most of the live stuff. You can't get your team if it's out of market, but I can get most of the games just by my digital antenna in really high quality. And then one game a week, I need to get it from ESPN. So if you had that, it's a really nice. Really
that
nice
alone
option.
could probably bring a lot of people.
And SportsCenter is just great. It catches you up with everything because you're not going to be watching all the sports anyway.
No, you get a highlight.
Sling TV, you get ESPN and ESPN2 and ESPN3. I imagine that Amazon will have the same thing.
Amazon is looking for ESPN 1 and 2, I think.
Yeah.
What is even on ESPN3?
I don't know.
Like golf or something.
Canoeing?
No one knows.
Don't make fun of golf.
Hey.
I like golf.
No, but I think the competition is good because Sling TV needs to take things up to the next level.
And let's just say
the video quality kind of leaves me wanting, and it does stutter, and sometimes there's buffering problems, and that can be really annoying if you're watching a live sporting event. The last thing you want is to be interrupted, like at the most important moment, And
the ESPN app is not great either. Let's say that, which needs to be authenticated with a cable.
Yeah, the Fox Sports one is terrible too. I've used that a couple of times to watch something. It's bad.
Yeah, I was just gonna say real quick. One thing that's really interesting about Sling's deal with Disney is that they kind of got it by getting in a fight with Disney. Because they had the hopper, which automatically skips over commercials, and all these networks sued them. And then they were in court with Disney for like a year or longer. And one of the things that came out of it was they said, okay, we will wait 3 days to skip over your programming. And Disney said, okay, you can license our entire suite to Sling TV.
Wow.
So by kind of screwing over Disney, they became buddies.
They wanted.
I don't know.
Strange buddy
and
drama.
that sort of broke the ice for all these other things that look to be happening too. So
wow. All right. Well, there we go. Well, we'll see what happens with that one. PlayStation Vue. Obviously, you're not a fan of that, so we'll skip that topic. I didn't realize how vehemently you would be anti.
It's just more. It's just cable all over again with less features and crappier quality.
And the smallest like package is $45 now, which they just dropped the price. So now it's $45, but you still have to get internet. So where are you at then? Then you're at $100, and then why don't you just have cable at that point?
Just not going to work. Yeah. Well, all right. We're going to come back and talk about one other television topic here at the end. I know it's a very hotly anticipated topic.
It's pretty much the biggest news of the week.
The biggest news. We're saving it for the grand finale.
It's a hot one.
Before we get to that, though, there was some pretty amazing news when it comes to VR and AR that came out over this week because the HTC Vive and the HoloLens went on pre-sale. HTC Vive sold 15,000 units in 10 minutes.
Okay, so you asked me about MWC, and you guys apparently covered all that crap while I was at MWC, which is really
the mobile world.
It's so efficient. Well, one thing I did get to do at MWC is play with the Vive.
And how was it?
It's freaking amazing.
Really? Yeah. Better than Rift, better than anything.
Better than I haven't seen the Rift yet, but it's much better than the Gear, as far as I'm concerned, and it's an incredible experience. They put us through a demo, and there was a couple of games and a couple other things. One of them was an undersea adventure.
Sweet.
And it was like you're sitting on this old ship, and there's bubbles and the sound everywhere.
Were you holding your breath?
A little bit.
Yeah,
you're looking over the side, and there's depth. And the cool thing is it's mapped the room, so if you get too close to the wall shows up as this like orange grid, which itself looks like something out of Tron. And and then all of a sudden you're just hanging out. I was just having a blast with the underwater, and then I hear this weird noise behind me. And I look around, and yep, there's a blue whale. He like comes like, and he's like eye to eye with him, and it's kind of Finding Nemo-y, but you're really feeling it. You're in the moment, and then there's a game where you've got these two guns. And the cool thing is they give you the controllers, and you see them in the virtual world, so you can
actually see
maps them out, and you see the controllers. And then you can do the video game they showed us you can have two guns, and then you can go like this and you put up a shield, and you're just like killing these drone things that are coming at you with lasers. It's amazing, and it's going to be huge.
And sharks and laser beams.
Sharks with laser beams attached to their heads.
Well, I mean that's a success right there.
I mean, what do I pay you for, people?
Did they call it the Vive or the Vive out there?
They called it the Vive. They called it the Vive.
Good.
Well, for $800 a piece.
And so it's $800, but you know what? The PS4 is $400.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean,
Google.
I'm considering
for two PS4s.
I'm considering it's like, well, we never got a PS4, honey. Maybe
just double down and get.
She's interested. The problem with it though is it is a single person's device, right? I mean, you
you're
can't
not
really do it together.
You mean if you have a girlfriend or boyfriend, it's just not for you?
Well, I mean, it is, but you're over here going like this, and and they're just like,
having fun, honey.
It's
Well, that is one other thing though. They're trying to incorporate VR into a more group experience.
Right.
And there's the news about a VR roller coaster that they're developing. And I think it's at Six Flags. Like multiple different Six Flags are going to have it.
9 different Six Flags locations are adding VR to some of their roller coasters, and one of them.
So it's gonna like augment the world. Are you already on a roller coaster?
You're already on a roller
Isn't that
coaster.
enough to see the stuff around you on the roller coaster?
No, it's complete VR. It's not even AR. So you're like in a world where you're riding the roller coaster. One of them is I think you're fighting aliens, and another one's like a
Superman.
You
can be flying through Metropolis, but I mean, think about that. Like
bad.
Having visual cues and stuff like that is actually kind of helpful to not getting sick. So I imagine we're gonna see a lot of puke-soaked VR goggles pretty soon.
Yeah.
But
they're gonna be all sweaty too.
You have to clean those in between.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how they're gonna do that.
I didn't think logistically about about how this was gonna work out, but
I mean, it's Six Flags.
it is Six Flags. It's kind of grimy already, but I'm stoked because if I can. I mean, you've been in those simulators where they move up and down maybe a total of 6 feet, and that simulates some G-forces and whatnot, but nothing is better than the real thing when it comes to doing loops, going upside down, extreme G-forces, extreme lack of G-forces where you're free-falling and weightless. So I can only imagine how pairing an entirely different world, like taking that ride and making it put you through a whole different world of stuff, could like enhance the experience of the coaster ride. Because I mean, right now with roller coasters, they're running out of ideas. Amazingly, they're still coming out with new stuff. If you haven't checked it out, check out the new Joker ride. There's a video out. It's coming to one of the Six Flags locations in 2016. and it's absolutely nutty. But that's the jumping the shark of roller coaster world. I thought until now. I heard that they're going to be folding in. They're going to be folding in VR. Those of us on Periscope and YouTube know what just happened.
The podcast.
At least I didn't slap myself silly.
That was
I'm really excited. I
got
totally want to try it out, and I think Digital Trends needs some in-depth coverage of this. So I'm going to go ahead and go.
Yeah, and I'm
Good for you.
thinking Digital
Thanks.
Trends should probably buy us all Vives,
Yeah.
just so we sort of have the experience.
It just makes sense.
It's a new
Yeah.
It
series,
really does.
DT Day Out.
Right.
Quick question about the Vive on the reels. Is it a self-contained system, or do you need to have a hot rod supercomputer to run it? Because I know with Oculus, you have to have a pretty hefty, bad boy, on the same level as a hardcore gaming machine in order to run the Oculus. And I'm wondering with the Vive, obviously there's these sensors and stuff, but are they all tied into a centralized system? Is that what you get for $800, or do you have to also have the computing power to run this $800 thing you just bought?
I thought it was self-contained, but you're putting me on the spot, and now I'm looking like a moron.
Well, no. I don't think. I
It's
think
not
a lot
my
of
field,
people.
Caleb.
I don't see people talking about that enough.
No, I thought it was a self-contained system, but
That was what I was
obviously
under the
good
impression
question.
of too.
Yeah.
That it was self-contained.
But I'm not positive on that.
well, that's a pretty big deal then. I
Yeah.
mean, if you
I
get
think
the
it's just
whole
it's like a
kit-
gaming system, from what I understand. But should we look that?
Just so we don't.
Hey,
Maria,
Google.
why is it so hot in here?
It is
I
really
think
hot.
It
in here.
is.
It's really hot in
Yeah,
here.
It's getting hot in here.
I'll take it.
Is it one?
So take off.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, for those of you watching via Periscope, maybe you can pop in there and let us know. I'm not seeing. I'm pretty sure it's self-contained. Well, you know what? Here, I know what we'll do. You know, the best way to find that out is to go to digitaltrends.com, actually. So everybody listening, you can find out all about it. You can read
Thanks,
Ryan's
Caleb.
review right there and everything else. Well, you don't want to spoil all of it.
Next time I'll do
One
it
show.
on Periscope, so you guys don't, shoot me down.
There we
asking
go.
a legit
Nice
question.
little plug there.
All right, let's get to the last topic. And
Oh,
we
God.
we
Here we go.
I believe talked about this briefly at the beginning, and it has to do with the rumors of a new television show.
No,
Ryan, do you want to?
It's a
maybe
movie.
you could. It's a movie.
Yeah.
Excuse me,
TV movie.
TV movie
based on a TV movie,
based on a television show,
and it's called again.
The Legends of the Hidden Temple,
Duh.
which is the greatest show of all game shows.
We just lost a few viewers.
It's a big cardboard hidden temple, and kids used to run through it, and they'd get stuck, and they had to complete the maze. And there was Omek, and he was the temple dude. And
this was a Nickelodeon style show.
It's one of the weirdest shows maybe ever created.
How do you make a movie out of that?
Yeah, you don't. You shouldn't. Probably.
But they're gonna do it.
But they're
anyway.
gonna do it anyway. I think that,
Is this like when they made
we wanna talk
Battleship a
about this
movie?
for
Like-
real. This is like the ultimate example of nostalgia-driven ideas, where it's just like we have no ideas at all.
Yeah.
But we do have a lot of crap that we used to have ideas about, and people still remember that. And now the people that remember that have a bunch of money. So I'm thinking, and that's how Fuller House came to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, have any of you watched Fuller House?
I will not.
I
I think I'm gonna
an
have
episode.
to. I think I'm gonna have to.
Yeah.
Just,
It was
I saw an
difficult to
episode.
watch the first time.
Mhm.
It's even more difficult to watch now as an adult, who has really good, important stuff they should be doing with their time.
Instead of Fuller House.
and this
I-
is
yeah.
the age
I
of
love-
golden age of TV. and
Yeah,
all
this
that.
is it amazes me that it captured it as so much attention. I mean, when we first announced it was happening, I could not believe the amount of people who were jumping online to see the story and sharing it through social media.
Yeah, it
And,
blew up.
I mean, it was absolutely insane. Marie, did you watch that when you were
No,
young?
I was straight married with children.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
So-
All right.
That's a
Yeah,
totally different
which-
thing.
Yeah.
Was on our list of 6 shows that deserve a reboot. There's some good ones out there. Full House was not one of the ones I thought they would bring back.
Yeah.
Unless you bring the Olsen twins with it, in which case you've got a whole different kind of show.
Yeah, but they're not in it.
No,
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 they're
no,
not.
yeah,
That's the whole
okay.
thing.
Yeah.
But everybody else
And
is.
my favorite part of the Full House thing is Kimmy Gibbler, the actress who plays Kimmy Gibbler.
Has she done anything
She
since
has
Full House?
done nothing. They shut the book on her. They kicked her out of Hollywood. They were like, "You're never going to work again, and don't even try." No, I don't know exactly what happened. I think she just retired. She was like, "Nobody's going to give me a job." This is like the dream. Like you did one thing once, right?
That she's
You're
known
like,
for her whole
I'll
life.
never be on TV again, and that's fine. And then they're like, hey, guess what? would you like to reprise your stupid character from that stupid TV show from 20 years ago?
Sold.
And here's like a bunch of money.
That is
So,
kind of the dream. I mean,
Good on her.
You know,
Good on
Urkel's
Kimmy Gibbler, man.
Urkel's out there somewhere, like just waiting for
That
his
dude's
shot.
still got money though. Like
He's got
does
money
he
he's
and
still
he
kind
looks
of
good.
famous.
Yeah, he's doing just fine.
She's
Real
like, she was not on the radar.
She was not
I'm not
good.
gonna get a job.
Well, if they're stretching it now to even making a movie out of a
But
game
Legend
show.
of the this is an insane idea. I don't know.
All right, if there's one show from your childhood while we wrap up here that you would want to see rebooted, what is it? Like if you had to pick one.
Well, they're already.
they've already
rebooting Star
rebooted
Trek.
They've already
everything
done
from my
them all.
childhood.
Okay, one that hasn't been.
There aren't any.
Oh, I
They
can.
rebooted Knight Rider.
Star Trek is getting.
Oh, they did
rebooted-
reboot Knight Rider. That
Yeah.
was
Dukes of Hazzard.
I
They brought back Chips.
They rebooted.
They did, yeah.
They're rebooting freaking Roadhouse with Ronda. Or what was
Oh
her name?
yeah, with Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
I wrote a whole op-ed about that. I was so upset.
What about Airwolf?
I was gonna say if you were gonna
There's-
wrap, it's the last
okay.
one left.
Okay,
Yeah.
Airwolf.
You remember Airwolf?
Have you heard our hold music?
Oh yes.
Is it?
Is it
It's Airwolf.
Well, there we go.
Nice.
And I didn't know until I put somebody on hold for like 5 minutes, and I came back and like,
Is
yeah,
it just like-
interesting.
Well, the whole
hold music.
Airwolf.
Is it just an
howl that
episode
takes
of
place at
Airwolf?
the
No,
beginning.
it's the opening
It
credits.
should just be an episode
You
of
hear the
Airwolf.
helicopter start going.
Because the
and
howling is like, what the hell is going on? And then you hear, oh, it's Airwolf. Like,
Oh man,
that
that is
song-
Airwolf.
that song is what made me want to play the trumpet.
Wow.
I
Wow.
play trumpet now.
Getting
because
deep
of
here.
Airwolf, yeah. I was like, that song is awesome. I'm going to learn how to play it. And so I didn't realize at the time that it was a French horn. I thought it was, but I got a cornet.
Which is nearly impossible
and
to play.
right after I learned how to play Mary Had a Little Lamb, I learned how to play the Airwolf theme.
Nice.
Wow.
There you go.
Tying it all together right there.
Nice.
It's a nice
Yeah.
jump.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
feels good.
send us an email, podcast@digitaltrends.com. Of course, tune in to Trends with Benefits every week. We're on here Thursdays at 2:30 p.m. Pacific. There's if you're watching via Periscope or YouTube, you're seeing Caleb's fingers in front of that, which I'm sure is a lovely sight that you'll you'll burned into your brain. But yeah, send us an email, podcast@digitaltrends.com. Like I said, with any questions you've got or topics or suggestions, we've been getting a bunch of those. I'll be getting back to those over the weekend. And thanks so much. We'll see you next week.